Hey, welcome to Practice Makes Progress. I'm Elika, and today we are going to do a yoga practice focused on our back body. So hop on your mat or your towel or blanket, whatever you're practicing on today, and join us in a seated Sukasana pose. We'll begin with our ankles crossed, palms will be down on the tops of our knees. Let's begin with an inhale and bring our spines nice and long, and on an exhale, just gently close your eyes or soften your gaze to the tip of your nose or the ground, whichever you're more comfortable with. And we'll stay here for just 5 or 6 breath cycles, beginning to elongate the inhales and exhales, bring awareness to the breath, and just give ourselves a few seconds to center and bring all of our presence and awareness to our yoga practice. Maybe we bring an intention in for the day. If you want to focus on cultivating something, maybe you want to focus on having your own back, since we'll be focusing on our back body today, so being able to trust and rely on yourself. One more big breath cycle in and out, and go ahead and open your eyes on your next inhale. Good. We'll begin by bringing our left hand up and overhead, and on an exhale, just gently bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. Your left hand is going to come to the right side of your face. We're welcoming a nice stretch in the right side of the neck. Bring a little bit of awareness into your right elbow right now. Big inhale brings us nice and long through the spine. Exhale, grounding down to the sit bones. Go ahead and release gently on your next exhale. Inhale your right hand up and overhead. Exhale, gently bring your right hand to the left side of your face. You're bringing your right ear towards your right elbow or towards your right shoulder. Make sure there's space here, you're not squishing up. Bring awareness into your left elbow now to bring a nice stretch into the side of the neck, and on your next exhale, go ahead and gently release. Beautiful. From here, we're going to cross our arms. Go ahead and bring the left on top for now, and on an exhale, allow your back to round and your chin can come to your chest. We'll stay here for just 2 or 3 breath cycles, bringing a nice stretch into the back body. Maybe on inhales, you can expand the skin on your back body a little bit more. Take big inhales, and on the exhales, you can crawl your fingers onto your knees a little bit. Again, check in with your shoulders and your ear spacing here. You want to make sure you have a nice long neck. Good. And from here, we're going to find a twist. So on an inhale, twist open to the right. Right hand extends up to the sky, just gazing over towards the right. Bring awareness into your left hand and your right knee right now. And just bring some, pressure and push in there, and allow that to give yourself a little bit more of a twist. You're not like yanking and cranking, but you're really allowing that to give yourself some leverage. And on your next exhale, bring your right hand to your left knee. We're going to round our backs again, get a nice stretch in our upper back body. Stay here for just a couple breath cycles. And on your next inhale, we're going to twist open to the left. Left hand extends up to the ceiling. Bring awareness into your right hand, so between your right palm and your left knee. Inhaling long and tall, reaching the hand up to the sky, but keeping space between your ear and your shoulder. And exhale a little bit further into your twist. And on your next exhale, gently release. Lovely. From here, we are going to come right to tabletop position. So you can roll over your knees, or you can kick your feet out to one side and come to all fours, whatever suits you best today. Bring your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Hands are spread nice and wide, space between the fingertips. Take a peek back at your feet. Make sure that your shins are in 2 parallel lines. Tops of the feet are on the floor if that's comfortable for you. From here, we're going to find a nice cat-cow. So on an inhale, go ahead and drop your belly. Take your gaze and your tailbone up towards the sky. And on an exhale, round your back, and your tailbone and your crown will come to the ground. Good. Inhale, belly drops, tailbone curls up, gaze follows. Exhale, round your back. Crown and tailbone curl down. Inhale and exhale with this movement in your body for a few more breath cycles. Good. Really noticing the back body, how that feels in your spine, and even notice how it's engaging your glutes and your hamstrings, your triceps. Good. And on your next exhale, go ahead and come back to neutral From here, begin to shift your weight into your left knee, and you're gonna inhale and bring your right leg back behind you for three-legged dog. So we're gonna stay here for about 5 breath cycles. If it feels good to you, to then shift some weight into your right hand and lift your left arm up for a three-legged dog variation. You can give this a shot. Push out through your right heel, so the foot that's extended behind you, your toes should be curling in towards your left inner thigh. Good. If it feels a little more comfortable to have your toes curled under, you can have your left toes curled under, but if not, have your foot flat. Excellent. From here, plant your left hand if it's not already, and on an exhale, you're gently just gonna bring your knee into your chest and plant your foot between your hands. Good. We'll stay here for just a breath cycle or two in this low lunge variation. Finding what feels good for us here, making sure we have good alignment, form, and foundation as always. Check in with our knee and our heel. Make sure it's in one nice line. Good. From here, we're going to bring some awakening into our calf. So we're going to come up on our right toe. So on an inhale, just gently begin to lift your right heel and come up on your right toe. Exhale, lower. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, slow, lower. So we're going to do 2 or 3 more of these here at your own breath rate. Inhaling very, very slow. Bringing some awakening, some stretch, and exhale, lower. Good. Gazing off the tip of your nose if that feels nice. Or maybe closing your eyes if you want a little bit more of a balance challenge, whatever feels good for you here. Good. From here, go ahead and plant your right foot. Plant your hands if you can, if that feels nice. You can come up on your fingertips if that feels good. We are going to curl our left toes under, and on an inhale, gently lift your left knee and begin to engage your left outer glute, your left glute. Good. Exhale, gently lower. Inhale, straighten, super slow here. Finding all of the awakening in the back body. Exhale, lower. We're just going to do a few more of these. Inhaling and exhaling, moving with our breath, slow and steady. Good. One more inhale. And exhale, lower. Wonderful. From here, we're going to come to pigeon. So heel toe your right foot towards your left hand and come to the outside of your left calf. Good. Make sure your right leg is going, make sure your left leg is going directly behind you in a straight line. From here, we have some options. So first we want to make sure that our hips are going even with the short edge of the mat. So pull your right hip crease back, push your left hip crease forward. If it feels good to come down to your elbows, you can melt down to your elbows. Think about really pinching your knees together. We want to try to, like I said, keep our hips even with the short edge of the mat. If it feels better to continue to melt down a little bit more, you can continue to journey down. We're here for a few more breath cycles. Awakening, getting a nice stretch in the right outer glute. Good. Oh, this feels so good. And on your next inhale, we're just gonna come back to that tabletop position where we were. Okay, so we're all on all fours. So just inhale and gently slide your right shin back to meet your left shin and walk your hands back underneath you. Good. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Have your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Fingerprints are nice and wide. Begin to shift weight into your right knee. Inhale, extend your left leg back behind you. Make sure your belly's not dipping down your lower belly. Make sure we have it nice and drawn up. Good. If it feels good for you to shift some weight into the left hand and inhale, extend your right hand, you can do that. Gaze down or maybe even close your eyes. Check in with your back body, make sure it's nice and bright, not drooping down. Good. Plant your right hand if it's not already, and on an exhale, gently plant your left foot between your hands. Wonderful. We'll stay here for a few breath cycles, making sure we have nice form and foundation, making sure our front knee is over our front ankle, making sure our back leg is in a nice straight line. From here, we're going to inhale and come up on our left toe to bring an awakening into our left calf. So inhale, slow and steady. Exhale, slow, lower. Good. Inhale up. Close your eyes if that feels nice to you. If you want a little bit more of a balance challenge, it'll help bring some awareness into the parts of the body that are experiencing this pose as well. Good. Wonderful. Let's do one more of those. Good. From here, maybe you can plant your hands or stay up on your fingertips. Curl your right toe under. Extend your right heel out long. Right knee comes up. Good. On an exhale, gently begin to lower your right knee again. Inhale, right heel spikes back, right knee comes up. Slow, lower, inhale and exhale here with your own breath rate for a few more. Noticing an awakening in the left glute. Why don't you go ahead and lift your left toes as well to make sure you're not clenching in with your front foot. Good. And on your next exhale, go ahead and allow your knee to rest there. Heel toe your left foot over towards your right hand. Come to the outside of your left calf, pigeon pose. Take a moment to make sure again that our back leg is going directly behind us, not like in or out or all crazy. Think about pushing your left hip crease back and really pulling your right hip crease up. Push out through the front heel, front foot is flexed. If it feels good for you to come down to your elbows, maybe you journey down here and maybe you begin to melt all the way down to your chest. Whatever feels good for you. We're here for 2 more breath cycles. Close your eyes if that feels nice as well. Get to make it work for you today, okay? You're at home on your mat doing the practice in the comfort of your own space. So make it work with you. Wonderful. From here, go ahead and plant your hands. Inhale, slide your left knee back to meet your right, and just go ahead and sink your hips back to child's pose position. So allow your sit bones to come to your heels. Hands will extend out long in front for just a breath cycle or 2. Then we're going to find a nice little flow, low flow here. Good. On an inhale, keep your hands extended. Plant your hands long and strong. Bring yourself up to the top of a plank, but stay on your knees. Good. Exhale all the way down to the belly. Make sure that your elbows are not flaring out, but they're pinching back super tight against your rib cage. Inhale, baby cobra. Gently lift your gaze, your chest and your nose. Make sure there's space between your ears and your shoulders. Exhale, lower. On an inhale, we're going to push ourselves back up to that plank variation. Stay on your knees. Elbows squeeze in. Exhale, shift your weight back to child's pose. Good. We're going to do this a few more times. Inhale, weight shifts forward. Stay on your knees. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Elbows pull back. Inhale, baby cobra. Space between your ears and your shoulders. Exhale, gentle lower. Inhale, lift your chest. Stay on your knees. Exhale, shift your hips back. Child's pose. Again, inhale, weight shifts forward. Maybe your eyes are closed during this nice flow. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra, gaze lifts. Exhale, lower. Inhale, really push your palms to lift your chest. Exhale, shift your hips back. Let's do one more, okay? Inhale, your weight shifts forward, chest is even with your hands. Exhale, lower to the belly, elbows pull back against your ribs. Inhale, lift your chest, baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, all the way up to the top of a push-up. Exhale to child's pose. Beautiful. From here, we're gonna inhale to the top of a plank, stay on your knees, and exhale all the way down to the belly. Lovely. From here, we're gonna find locust. So we are going to bring our hands back behind us. I am going to interlace my fingers behind my back, but if that's not in your practice today, you can just have your hands, fingertips extending back behind you with your palms towards the ground, okay? So for locust, all we're gonna do, it's similar to baby cobra, we're just gently lifting our chest, but we're also gonna be lifting our feet as well. Really engaging the back of the legs, okay? So on an inhale, we're gently just gonna lift our chest. Maybe you interlace your fingers, maybe your hands just stay to your side, gaze off the tip of your nose, lifting your toes, pushing into your pelvic bone, space between your ears and your shoulders. We'll stay here for another breath cycle in, and on an exhale, gently release. Beautiful. So we're gonna find that posture again for 7 to 10 breath cycles. So we'll be there longer for this next one, okay? So if it feels good for you to start little and grow, maybe you can do that. Maybe you start big and you start to, your lotus begins to lose its lift a little, whichever feels best for you, but we will be here for about 10 breath cycles, okay? So on an inhale, gently lift your gaze. Maybe you interlace your fingers, toes lift, pushing into your pelvic bone. Maybe your eyes are closed, if that feels good for you. Toes are pointed, engaging your glutes, really squeezing everything into your mid-center line. So bringing awareness into your hamstrings, back of your legs here. Good. And focusing on our breath, remembering our intention for our practice if we set one. Noticing our inhales and exhales, how they grow our locus maybe. Good. And on your exhale, just gently release. Good. That feels nice. All right. From here, go ahead and plant your hands by your chest. We're going to stay on our knees. Inhale, push yourself up. Exhale, shift your hips back to child's pose position. Good. This time we're going to get a nice stretch in our triceps, so we're going to find prayer hands. So in child's pose, crawl your hands out a little bit further. And once you get a nice stretch, so we still want to make sure that we have space between our ears and our shoulders here. So we don't want to be overextending, but we do want to have just a little bit more of a reach. It'll help get a nice stretch in the tricep. And once we have those in a nice spot, we're going to inhale. You can bring your hands together into a prayer position and bend your elbows and bring your hands up. So your head will be relaxed between your elbows. I can't be there right now or else you won't be able to hear me. But your head, I'll do that in just a minute so you can see if you need to, but your head will be relaxed in between your elbows, and it's a nice stretch in your triceps. If it feels good to bring your hands a little bit towards your back body for an additional stretch, you can do that. Good. Extend your hands out long. Plant your hands. We're just going to inhale, bring ourselves to all fours, and our next thing is to kick our feet out to one side. Get a nice little cool down before we find Sukasana, okay? All right, so from here, we're going to come to flat back. Bring your hands to the outsides of your knees, or if they feel better behind your knees, you can be there too. We're just going to gently come down one vertebrae at a time. Feet can stay planted or they can come up with you, whichever feels better for you today. Lovely. From here, go ahead and bring your knees into your chest and begin to draw circles with your knees. So it really should be a nice massage on the lower back body right now. Good. From here, bring your shins parallel with the ceiling. Extend your hands out to T. On an exhale, gently take your legs over to the left, gaze over to the right. So you can be looking at your right hand or it can be up to the ceiling, whichever feels better for you. Maybe you want to bring your left hand to the outside of your right thigh or your right knee for a little bit more of a stretch. You can take a little bit of weight there if that feels good. All right, inhale, bring your knees and your gaze to neutral. Exhale, knees over towards the right, gaze over towards the left or up. Maybe you bring your left hand to the outside of your, or your right hand to the outside of your left thigh if that feels nice. Good. Inhale, bring your knees and your gaze back to neutral. Exhale, allow your feet to come to the mat and extend your legs out long. Make any minor adjustments you need to for our nice Savasana. An opportunity to let everything sink in, all the goodness that we just stirred up in the breath and the energy. Keeping our awareness on our sensations, what we're feeling right now. Noticing our toes, noticing our ankles, noticing our calves. Releasing and relaxing each part of our body, our knees, our quads, our hamstrings. Allow your muscles to feel like they're melting as you're moving your way up your body to your lower belly, your hips, torso, armpits. Notice what's happening in your biceps, forearms, hands. Bring your awareness to these parts, these areas. Your neck, your jaw, your cheeks, and your forehead. Allowing the muscles to relax and just feel like they're melting off of our bodies, into our mats. And keeping our minds on this sensation of relaxation. It'll begin to wander. It'll begin to think. And just notice when your mind does those things and gently bring your awareness back to the sensations you're feeling for just another handful of breath cycles. Gently beginning to bring a smile to your face. Bigger inhalations and exhalations. Movement comes into your toes and your fingers. Hands and feet, wrists and ankles begin to move, as do your arms and legs, and you eventually come onto your right side for just a breath cycle or two. And then you can push yourself up to a seated position, how we started. Cross ankle pose, hands at heart center, eyes are closed. We'll take 3 inhalations through the nose and open mouth exhalations together to close the practice, beginning now. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.